she starting?
She's my sister. You can
Okay.
tell, right?
Come on, sister.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Congratulations on your nomination.
Thank you.
And
Thank you very much.
success of
Thank you.
both your shows.
Thank you.
It's so great to see these kinds of costumes and everything on TV. So realistic, but then you still have the challenges of making the show.
Yes.
So talk a little bit about how you got involved in it. You've been doing Blackish since the beginning.
Beginning, since the pilot. I didn't do the first season.
Oh,
I was doing 2 other shows, so I came back. They asked me to come back the second season, so I've been there ever since. So
my God.
it's been quite an experience working with Kenya Barris. Kenya Barris. It's been quite an honor and just a pleasure. And he's such an amazing creator and storyteller. So it's been great to have this partnership with him and with Anthony Anderson
Oh my God,
as well. You know, so.
Can you talk about Anthony's
Yeah.
closet for a second before we get into this?
Yeah, the closet.
His sweaters, his
Yes,
t-shirts,
yes,
his shoes.
yes.
That's all you.
Yeah, no, and he's so awesome to work with, and he's a great boss, and he puts almost everything you put in his room. So he's very easy, and he's just a handsome man, and it's like a lot of fun to dress him. It was a lot of fun to dress him in Prince because he showed his stomach, he showed everything. So yeah.
And that's funny.
And he's
because-
brave like that.
Yeah.
He's good like that. Yes.
It's like you have a specific theme in mind. With this one, the Halloween episode,
Yes.
where you have to create characters. And so, when the inspiration for the Prince episode?
Was Prince. It was definitely him. And I was in college when Prince was starting to do all of his music, like David Bowie and all that was all happening. So it's just, you can remember all of his music, and you just reminisce. I think when we were talking about it earlier, when we were designing, as a designing team with my team, everybody had a story.
Right.
With every song, and there's different groups in our different age groups. So it was really just a lot of fun to reminisce and to do him and to give him honor. And his sister flew out, his family flew out when we did the 100 show. They were there, so they got to see the costumes. So it was, I did an icon. So it was such an amazing journey to do it, and to really get like her Dara's paint. It was painted, and Dion's clouds, and we wanted to really get it right, and we wanted to do it Prince's way. Of course you can't do it exactly, but I think we did. I think we did a great job.
Right. You did. Very great.
And we had great actors that brought it to life. So yeah, that was a lot of fun.
We talked a little bit about like dressing the characters, because a lot of times, sometimes you'll do flashbacks.
Yes.
From rain stage, and how do you manage to make them the same character? Like maybe when
Dre's Dre, or like when Bo's in college and things like that. Right. We actually just shot. We were back to our 6th season, so we just actually shot flashbacks last week.
Oh my God, great.
And we do go back to, and I go back usually to the 90s is when I was doing In Living Color. So I tend to go back to that, where what was happening in the 90s and all the groups and all the cross colors, Carl Kanai, and all of those type of things. So I have fun with that. And then we also go back to when Dre was a kid, when Ruby is the mom, and she's always like reprimanding him and Lawrence Fishburne. So when they're doing that, and that's a lot of fun because you go back to that time too. So we've had a lot of good times, portraying the 80s and the 90s, and so it's and they're glimpses, and so we try to do things in color like really fast. So because it's only like a second that we go back to the flashbacks.
But
So
it's very memorable.
Yes.
And people are so like into like nostalgia, so they're looking to make sure you get things right. and
Yes,
all
yeah,
things
they
like
are.
that stuff. Yeah.
Yes, and so we haven't had any calls yet.
Yeah, no.
So for us in wardrobe, so we're happy about
I think
that.
You've been doing great.
Yes.
And then, is there any like one show, one thing that you
know.
saw as a child that made you
Yes.
decide to be in the business?
Yes, my father loved, long story short, my father loved movies. He loved old movies. So we would always go to an old theater and see a lot of old movies.
Right.
And when I saw My Fair Lady with Audrey Hepburn, and when she has the white hat, I came out and I was probably like 14 or 15. And I said, Dad, I think I want to be a costume designer. And it wasn't anybody, you didn't think about those things.
Right.
And so my dad put me in sewing classes and things, and I went off to school, Kentucky, and I got my degree in theater arts. So, and it had rest is, and then In Living Color was my very first show. So, yeah.
And that show created a
Yes.
lot of iconic
Yes.
characters.
Yeah.
It's a pop culture. Like,
Yes, it
favorite,
is.
As this show is now.
Yeah.
How does it feel to know that something you might have created has been part of pop culture?
I mean, you know, it's so. I mean, like when I think of in living color, or like Bernie Mac and all these
Right.
stuff, and Martin Lawrence and all these shows that I've done, it's just been. I mean, it brings tears to your eyes because it's like such a big part
Right.
of all of our history.
Right,
You know,
exactly.
whether you're black or white, it's such a big part of what we grew
Right.
up with. You know, so I think I'm very honored that I've been really blessed with having a nice career with great creators.
That's
Yeah.
fantastic. And then lastly, what's your everyday inspiration? Do you like go outside? How are you? How do you?
It's probably my family.
No.
It's probably my grandmother being from the South. I was born in Los Angeles, but it was. I always tell people I was brought up with fabrics.
Yeah.
And fabrics because you sold because you didn't have
Yeah.
you didn't have money.
Right,
So my
exactly.
grandmother,
Patterns.
she did patterns, and
Yeah.
so I grew up with like velvet bean in the fall,
Yeah.
seersucker in the spring.
Oh, nice.
You know, and so fabrics had a different time of the season because you lived in the South.
Right.
And that was the proper way of doing it, and that has stuck with me
Yeah.
my kind of my whole life. So I'm kind of old-fashioned that way.
Oh my God,
Yes,
that's great.
yeah,
So I can't wait to see the next season.
yes.
And
We just did a really big job this past week.
Oh my God.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. So I can't talk about it, but
Yeah.
we just did
Oh my
something.
God.
Yes,
Well, I'm sure it's going to be great.
yes. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and congratulations again on
Thank
your
you so much.
nomination.
Thank
It was
you.
very nice to talk to you.
You too.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much.